Hey, Jarek here, and this is effectively a machine pistol PDW style version of the V6. The V6 is one of my favorite blasters. It's just one of the most fun in my collection to shoot. Incredibly high rate of fire, a 40 round double stack mag, like this is awesome. With that in mind, I had high hopes for this thing. It's made by the same people that made the V6, it seems to have the same rate of fire, it's also an automatic flywheeler, this small magazine holds 20 darts and is also double stacked. The externals, I really like how it looks like a very sci-fi machine pistol PDW, almost like something you'd see in Mass Effect. It has a standard Nerf barrel lug, so if I want to take the front end off of my V6, this is sort of its bigger brother, let's go ahead and take this off. I could put that on this. Looks absolutely ridiculous and very stupid, but I could do it. Don't know why I would, but I'm happy I can. For now, let's go ahead and get that out of here. It doesn't really make sense to have it on there. Unlike the V6, it has a trapdoor up top that you can go ahead and open up and clear out jams if you need to, which is always nice to have. It does have an extendable stock, but this is... I'm gonna be honest, this stock sucks. It's not useful. Even when you have it fully extended, that's as far out as it goes. Like that's not useful to anyone over the age of 3. I would recommend just taking it off. It becomes more comfortable. Just treat it like a machine pistol. Because with this thing on, it really does just get in the way. And extending the stock is just a button on the bottom here. But yeah, with this all the way in, it just kind of gets in the way of your hand. It'd just be better if you remove it. Also, it's not very sturdy at all. Like, it's just plastic, like this bends. I really would recommend just taking it off. I left it on for this video for aesthetic purposes. So that's a downside, but also with something this small, I mean, does it really matter? This is almost sidearm, put it on a 1-point sling and use it that way territory. Like the V6, this also has an on-off switch, but in this case, it's this big knob here, which matches the aesthetics. It's kind of silly, but I'm totally down with this. I just like being able to disengage the electricals inside my blaster. And other than that, it functions like any other flywheeler you've used. It has a rev trigger, regular trigger. The magazine releases this right here. And yeah, it's a flywheeler. You might have already asked, where does the battery go? There's not really much space to put it. It can't be up here. This is where the flywheelers are. You can't be back here. There's not really any space for that. You'd think it would be in the grip, but it doesn't go in the grip. Actually, it goes here in this little space right there. You unscrew this screw right here and open up this bottom plate, and it uses a stick type 7.4 volt LiPo battery. I don't remember what milliamp this is. It is 500 milliamps. So yeah, it barely fits in there. That's a plus and a downside. There's no rattling of any kind, but it's kind of difficult to get it in and out of its battery compartment, but it does work, so I can't really complain too much. I really wish it was toolless, though. I'm going to complain about that in every single video where that doesn't have toolless battery compartments. Like, I hate needing to get a screwdriver just to take my battery out. When I chronoed this thing, it was pretty consistent with the darts it came with at 110 FPS. For a blaster that's only $40, that's pretty darn good. When I chronoed it with Worker Gen 3 darts, my chrono was just being a total pain, but it did seem to chrono around the same. Thank God this is the last time I have to use this pile of garbage chrono. I'm getting a new one next week, so I don't have to deal with this anymore. But yeah, 110 FPS. Pretty decent for a full auto blaster that's only 40 bucks. And the externals are typical plastic. I mean, they don't feel super cheap, but they are just ABS plastic. They would be what you would expect, but definitely not for 40. That said, it's not as good as it seems. I had really high hopes for this thing, but unfortunately, it kind of sucks. All of its problems can be narrowed down to the magazine and the darts it uses. The actual blaster itself is of pretty good quality. Solid build quality, good rate of fire, flywheels spin up relatively quick. Like, I couldn't complain at all about this part of it. It's just this and the darts it come with. You see, the darts it come with are not half-length darts. They're also not full-length darts. They're in between. So all of your half-length and full-length darts just aren't going to work in this gun unless you cut down your full-length darts. More annoyingly, the darts that come with this blaster are too soft for a double-stacked magazine of this type. So if you try to fire it on full auto, it just won't consistently fire out of the gun. pretty much every single magazine is going to do this with the default mag it comes with. To its credit, it at least doesn't jam, but still, if you're skipping darts and just not firing, that's almost as bad. Now you may be asking, but the V6 worked perfectly fine and that was double stacked. Yes, but the V6 magazine was a little bit wider, so you effectively had two single-stacked lines of darts instead of everything trying to get squished into the middle of the magazine. This magazine is just too thin for a double stack to work. But like I said, the darts this came with are too soft for this blaster, so I said, screw it, I'm gonna cut up some of my full-length darts and see if they work. I first started with Adventure Force waffle heads, and these just didn't work in these magazines. The waffle heads were a little too thick, and they would also get stuck in the mag. Next, I tried full-length Worker Gen 3 darts, yes, those do exist if you're unaware, and these actually worked better. They didn't get stuck in the mag, they would fire out without stuttering, but the blaster didn't seem to like them. As I was firing, the rate of fire would actively slow down. I guess it's better than skipping darts occasionally, but still, that's not how it's supposed to work. I mean, one of the main draws of this blaster is its rate of fire. On top of that, the Worker Gen 3s would occasionally jam, in two different ways. The first way is your more traditional flywheel just gets stuffed up with darts. The second jam is actually way worse, because the way this gun is designed is that the flywheels are roughly about here. All of this space here is just empty, hollow clamshell. There's no barrel leading from the flywheels. So if it jams in that way, you got darts stuck inside of this clamshell, and it's a pain in the ass to get them out. And when I say all around the flywheels, I literally mean all around the flywheels. I've had darts get stuck above and below them. Once they're in this area, it's so hard to get them out. A simple unjamming rod is not going to do it here. And trust me when I say that I tried everything. I tried loading the darts in different ways into the magazine so that they wouldn't be touching the front or the back. That didn't seem to solve anything. I even tried all my off-brand darts, the ones I get in my like full auto shell ejecting or belt fed blasters. None of those worked. The only thing I was not able to try is a cut down, more traditional waffle head. The Adventure Force waffle heads are a little wide at the front, so I don't know if more normal style waffle heads will work better in this. I have no real way to try that. I don't have any full length versions of traditional waffle heads, so who knows? Judging off all my other darts, I would say probably not, but there's a chance. Possibly putting a stronger spring in the magazine would fix it, but this spring is not that weak in here. Like, it's pretty strong, like it needs to be. It's really disappointing, because the blaster itself, everything here, I can't complain about it. Like, all of this is actually pretty awesome. Until you get to the magazine, and for the some odd reason, weird length darts they decided to use. Now, had they just used normal half-length darts, this thing would probably work perfectly fine. And if you're curious, no half-length darts do not work in this magazine. They'll stop like about there, and the pusher won't be able to push them into the flywheels. If they do, they get jammed up. So yeah, those aren't really an option either. They could have made it just use Talon mags and half-length darts, and maybe somehow made like a double-stacked Talon mag. That would have been pretty cool. I don't know how they would have managed to make that work. You would have to make double-stacked foam that likes to stick together, go single-stack at the top, so that probably wouldn't have. But still, just going normal half-length dart would have fixed a lot of problems this thing has. I don't know if it would have fixed the problem of them sticking in the magazine. Probably not. I'm just disappointed. So would I recommend this thing? No, not unless you have some magical solution to this issue. It is only $40, so you could run the risk of buying it and trying to figure out some sort of solution for yourself. You wouldn't be out that much money. But other than that, I couldn't recommend this to anyone. As much as it pains me to say that. I mean, seriously, we could have had a machine pistol V6. How awesome would that have been? Regardless, I still did shoot this for the camera a bit. You might notice some issues in that footage, but I still got it, so let's shoot it.